much for joining Sister Soul Sessions live.
Yeah.
Want to go ahead and start introductions?
Thank you so much for having me. I love what you both are
Thank
doing. It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you. We
Thank
truly
you.
are happy to have you. We're so happy that you agreed. This is going to be a special night, guys. So welcome everyone to another inspiring episode of Sister Soul Sessions. This is season 2, episode 23. And tonight we have the honor of being joined by Charlotte Howard Collins of Coach with Charlotte tonight. 24 years of experience, finance, publishing, media, author. We're super excited with this exciting business coach. So please welcome tonight Miss Charlotte. And if Miss Charlotte, you would just introduce yourself and just let us know a little bit about your business, please.
Wow. Thank you so much again for having me. And hello, everyone. It's so great to be able to connect with each and every one of you. I am a wife, a mom, a business growth coach, having multiple businesses, really coming from a beauty industry background as a corporate beauty salon manager and hairstylist, a licensed hairstylist for over 28 years as well. I have probably, like a lot of people, have multiple certifications and expertises, but I'm just excited to just really be here. And of course, I am all about helping women amplify their voice, their impact, their influence, and their income in a nutshell.
Yes, all of it. And you're definitely doing that, accomplishing, I see all of the amazing things that you have going on. I kind of want to start with the amplify, and could kind of explain that. I know that that's an acronym, and if we can dive a little bit deeper into that and what that means, you know, for the business of women that you're providing right now.
Yes. So with everything, I like to say with the acronym, it's all about achieving more, multiplying, making sure that, you can multiply your gifts, multiply everything, like I mentioned before. I was in corporate, and a lot of people, they don't realize the skills that you definitely get from working on a job. You can leverage that as, being in entrepreneurship. And so, P, of course, stands for empowering others, and also empowering yourself, because when you're empowering, others, you can make a big difference. A lot of people are always after the money first. If you're in a business, of course, and you're wanting to definitely, of course, make more money, like a lot of people do, of course, you need to figure out your why has to be more than just money. It has to be something, of course, deeper. And so that why, and amplify. And I love to stress the point of, when we come together, we're able to again, make your dreams come true and help others, do the same, in a nutshell. And so I think that's really key. Relationships are definitely key, in life, and in business. When you guys reached out to me, I absolutely was just instantly loving what you were doing. And I'm all about, really creating synergy and seeing how I can create a win-win, so everybody's winning. Because, it's not, to me, it's not about me. It's about how many more people I can help to achieve their goals, both personally and professionally, at the same time.
Yes, exactly. No, that's beautiful. And how do you feel like or was it really a transition? I was going to say, how did you transition, from the corporate world, and especially, being a hairstylist for so long, running your own business, only having to worry about that, which is too much in its own, you know what I mean? How do you transition into, I can extend everything that I've learned in those 28 years and give that to other people and help them, extend their businesses? Like, how does that transition work for you, really?
Absolutely. That is such a great question because, again, it goes back to your why. How I actually got into entrepreneurship. I always have seen myself as being an entrepreneur ever since I was
Right.
18. I just love, being able to do like when we would have basketball games, football games, all of the ladies would come over to my house, to get their hair done and all of that. And I would say, well, if you pay my way into the game, then I'll do your hair,
Right.
So at an very early age, I was even doing hair when I was 16. And so what I would say is, if you're someone like me, because I actually got diagnosed with carpal tunnel syndrome, and so I retired, being a hairstylist and becoming a full-time entrepreneur when I was 28. And what happened was I was working over, on an average, it would be 48 hours plus a week, managing multiple salons. And as you know, I was working for one of the largest beauty salons chains. They have different ones. I know you ladies are familiar with Regis Corporation.
Oh yeah.
And so they have a bunch of different, major chains of salons. And so, I would always have a bunch of clients that I would be consistently, having them in my chair on an average doing 20 people hair a day. And, when you look at it, you're doing all of the business stuff and you're looking at, well, goodness, I'm only getting paid $10 an hour. And I'm bringing in 7 figures a week for this, because I'm training hairstylists, and I'm also traveling out of town, going to other salons and training other hairstylists and other places. And so when you look at your paycheck and you're like, well, yeah, I'm making, pretty good, but then you're looking like, well, goodness,
the time is not adding up.
the
Right?
time is not adding up. And I literally was chained to the chair. And that's why I said, you know what, I would never want anyone to have to, be chained to the chair like that. And, one day I was just so worn out, and my hands were just hurting me like really bad. You can, again, I was averaging 20 clients per day. And so when I finally, I have a high pain tolerance, but when I finally went to the doctor, he was like, Charlotte, you need to sit down. I was like, well, what's going on? Like, what are you going to tell me? And he's like, you need to find a different profession. He was like, because what you're doing is really, causing you to put a lot of wear and tear on your body, and you have carpal tunnel syndrome. So it's like, now, if this is the only income that I have coming in, because again, a lot of us, we don't know what we don't know. We haven't been taught. All we've been taught was go to school, graduate, get a job. That's and you're successful. No one told me, until I got surrounded by other entrepreneurs and learning all of this, was, you take the monies that you're making while you're working for others and invest it, invested in real estate, invested in creating your own coaching programs, invested in doing consulting. What types of skills can you, leverage from what you already have to be able to, make an impact? Because yes, I only had one income at the time, but then when I reached out, I started, I was like, you know what, I have to, there's no way I'm going to take a pay cut, because they, my supervisor was like, well, if you're not going to be able to perform, with 20, doing 20 times, yeah, it's like, that's not going to work for us. So I had to train the person that took over my position. And eventually what happened was I started coaching and consulting in the beauty industry while I was still working for them. And then I saved up money and started then of course starting my own businesses, starting with consulting, again coaching, and then started writing, of course sharing my
Right.
story. And then I was sharing my story via articles, podcasts,
Yeah.
TV, magazines, and then people started noticing. And I'm like, well, if I'm sharing my story, how many other people's story can I
And you,
share, and how many other people are going through something similar? Maybe they had just one income, all of their eggs in one basket, and
mhm.
didn't even have an opportunity to be positioned in such a way that well, you should be having more than one egg
Yeah.
in one
And realizing
basket
that
at
your
the same
skills,
time.
transcend somewhere else, really. I think, like you said, you get so fixated that, you have this one skill, but not realizing that you have actually like honed in on 5 different other things that you could be making money at the same time. But
Yes.
with your, diagnosis and when you went to the doctor, was that change for you immediate, or did you have to overcome this mentally to start being like, okay, what can I do now? Like what was that transition really like? Were you thinking it was something that was instant, like, oh, I can just consult, or did you have to like really go
Oh,
through it?
I was so devastated because I love hair. I still, do, like, I got family members, of course, that you can't stop doing my
Yeah,
hair.
yeah.
I got friends that are like, you got to do my hair. So I still do that because I actually come from a long list of family that is in beauty industry and military base. My whole entire family, that's our background. So, even my mom, she wanted me to go in the military and do hair in that arena. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do it this way.
Yeah.
And so, just, it was mentally, it was scary because, again, I had depended on this income. And at the time I just had just my one daughter, and just seeing her, when I would have to work around, pretty much around the clock, it was like so devastating, like, hearing her cry, and I would be crying on my way going. It's just, it was just, a hurtful feeling. So just going through, therapy, going, doing, a lot of writing. That's one of the reasons why I love writing so much, because, at the same time, you're healing when you're sharing your
Yeah.
story and getting on podcasts and TV. So there were, other people, like I said, started reaching out to me, and then said, well, how much would it cost for me to, make this investment in you doing my book and having me come on and you interview me? Or maybe you can write my book for me, because we have different people that'll reach out, like I have clients that they're just like, can you just interview me? And,
Get all
then you
the
can just
yeah.
do the, I'm like, okay, we can do it that way, whatever way works best for you, because you'll find that, some people love to speak, and some people, they just prefer to write. And so if, you have to choose that vehicle that of course works best, for you. But when you add all of it together, and you have, you're leveraging your skills, then I always say, then that's when you become an unstoppable wealthy woman, mentally, mind, body, spirit, and financially at the same time as well. Because these, like, the book becomes a business, the podcast becomes a business, the TV episodes become a business, and your magazine, you can use that as a business, in essence, to, really put it all together, and you're able to, help others do the same.
Yeah, you be your brand, and that, your story
Mhm.
is something that is so unique to you. So it's really, dynamic that you use that and help people hone in on, like you said, what they already have. It's not, you're not reinventing the wheel, which is crazy, but it's really pulling out of people what they, have a hard time discovering, I think, themselves. So with the business growth, is that how that kind of came about? You just having those normal conversations, realizing like with someone, like, you know what, that's a business, and like that aha moment. You're the aha moment, right? For
Yes,
everybody.
yes,
And so,
absolutely. And it's like I'm like, you're staying in your own lane, but you're you know, people buy you before they buy anything, you know. And so if you can take what you're already doing and turn it into something absolutely amazing that's going to impact lives, because I'm a big believer of impact. And once you impact people's lives, all of the other pieces come together. That's just how I've been able to just seen it, you know, just happen, just experience it. And also, you know, working with different people over this time. That's just, but what's, you know, and creating something unique to yourself. That's powerful, because that means you could be doing the same thing that I'm doing. And it's like, you know, because I'm big on, you know, collaboration over competition, because I'm always saying, you know, hey, it's like, I mean, we all can win. Like, if there's so many people that need what we have. So, and that's why I created the Wealthy Women Entrepreneurs Network, because I wanted more people who have their expertise. You know, like you amazing ladies, you're doing your podcast. I'm like, okay, well, how can I syndicate your show on our network and help you amplify at the same time as well? And it's like we're creating a win-win, because the powerful things that you're already doing, people are searching everywhere. And then it's like we all do this together and amplify. Then you never know who's, I always say, you never know who's watching you.
No, that's really true. And I think that's what's hard about the whole social media. It's because, you know, you really have to, like you said, sell yourself first, right? But now this has become an everyday task of being on and put on. So, you know, with your business, I feel like it's really important, you know, business growth, you know, aspects, that you kind of take away a lot of that fear. Like you said, some people just ask to be interviewed so that you can just write their book and things like that. Can you, elaborate, like even someone else said, collaboration versus competition. Can you elaborate a little more on the importance of networking? That's what we try to create here as well.
Yes.
You know, and what that means. I see you have a few different things that you built for networking. So like your Millionaires Club, you know, the Women Empowering Network, things like that. Can you just, talk a little bit about that?
Yes. It's like so important to network, because again, relationships are key when it comes to building your business. You know, there's always someone else that I may not be connected to already, that you may say, well, goodness, you know, Charlotte, you know, this person has been wanting to write their own book. They wanted to launch their own book series. You know, is there some type of collaboration that we can do? Because we have like referral programs, and I have this. I'm all about building up media partnerships as well, because again, you may be having an event, or someone that's tuning in with us may be having an event, and they need coverage for a magazine, for instance. Like if I'm like, okay, Brittany, I need to get, I'm having a fashion show, and I want to have a specific designers showcasing, you know, their clothing line. I need to get a set of different hairstylists, makeup artists. Like, can you have some of them come on site, and we do like this overall photo shoot, and get like some key pieces, and do like this whole media interviews, like live on set at the event. That's one of the things that we love to do, and we love to collaborate. Like, I might come to your city, you may come to my city, and I'm like, Brittany, can you ladies come
we're gonna
out
have to do this because we do have a networking event coming up. So let's let's talk about that.
So I'm saying, like, this is so key, because it's like we're helping each other, we're supporting each other. And like I said, you cannot be in this industry, in any industry, and try to keep everything all to yourself, and think that you're going to succeed. And it's like, you can't be stingy with the knowledge that you have.
Keepers, but that's, you know, and when you really, live that way and think that, feel like that's your purpose, and you really are about sharing and that caring, like what comes back to you is 100-fold,
Mhm.
like people don't get that a lot.
Yes.
So that's why I love that you really, stress on that. Everything that you've even posted is really about that community and creating the community, especially of women and empowering women, where a lot of times we do see it's a lot of competition.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, so when you built this, and especially, a lot of your things are based around like women coming together. Did you find it difficult? Were you finding a lot of women that wanted to come together, and it was like, oh no, there's sisterhoods
Oh,
out
this is such an amazing conversation. Yes. So I've had people say that, yes, I want to collaborate. I want to support each other, win-win. Then they're doing the same thing. Well, they think they're doing the same thing, I would say, that I'm doing, because I believe in giving my all when it comes to working with people, because yes, I am very, very well off. I can, I know how to make money, I know how to help other people make money, but I want to make sure that we are in alignment, because I think that's
all my
so key.
yes.
Because there are a lot of people that say, oh yes, I want to collaborate with you, and then it's like one of my dear friends, Jessica Dalby, she said, a lot of people, when we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about collaboration over competition and everything. And, some people, they'll say they want to have this, collaboration, but then it's like, what does that look like? It needs to be like, not just me sharing everything on my social media, or let me,
Was just
pick up the phone and say, Brittany and her team is coming out to, to the Millionaire Mansion with us, and I want the best people here to, so they can do interviews, live interviews. I want. Can you make any recommendations? Can you have, do you have a team of photographers that could, definitely add more value while we're here? Do you have some sponsors that could fly in Brittany and her team to, cover all of, everything, so it's, again, that relationship is key. I've had so many people, I would say about 3 years ago was like the worst episode, I would say, of women that I've happened to come in contact with, that I've never ever had come in contact with.
mm-hmm.
But from stealing my content to stealing my programs, making it their own, I mean,
yeah, no, it's
but
crazy.
but trying to make people think that they were the original creators of it, and then um, you know just getting messy with things. And it's like you don't want to have to deal
Yeah,
deal like that,
that's the
getting
big fear.
legal issues and all of that going on, and it's just not necessary, to have to deal like that. So it's like I cherish relationships like so much. It's like when we connect, I treat people like I want to be treated. And I feel like that's really 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 key.
Yes, Joy W. Books House says, so true. It's important to be in alignment and mutually beneficial for both parties with integrity. And the integrity part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like because social media is so popularity based, a lot of times you're going into it, you just want people with this many followers, or that's all they're looking for, or how much you share all the time. But the integrity piece a lot of times is missing. Like you said, you probably thought like, oh, they're doing their business, I've seen their pages, they're all into this. But them as people, they've gotten that far because they've stolen content the whole time. They've
Right.
been, so how do you stay motivated especially after that, you know, with you doing all of these big things, your name's attached to a lot of stuff. How do you stay motivated when you get hit with something like that? You don't want to go the legal route, don't want drama online going back and forth.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you do. How do you
Yes.
do it?
Yes. So I stay motivated because I know what God has called me to do. And I know nobody, and I mean nobody, can get in my way for doing what I am called to do. And so I'm just gonna keep it moving. And people who do that to you, they're gonna have to answer to that. Yeah, I could have said, you know, I'm gonna sue you for over $1 million, over $1 billion. But I'm like, you know what? You don't even have not even 1% of what you could have had.
Same
So
with me, right? Yeah, and you can't you can't keep replicating what I did.
right.
Soul, right? Yeah, it's hard to have that kind of. It's hard to have that type of willpower, you know.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
You wanna go back and forth, and you know, but you know, holding that integrity for yourself in your own business, because you will, you know, people will come against you even when. You know, we're doing some of our podcasts, whatever, we'll have like weird comments, have nothing to do with what we're talking about, or people want to just talk about our looks. You know, B, I know you get it all the time where people are just kind of attacking you almost. And, you know, it's a lot when you're forward facing. So how do you tell your clients, you know, because really that's who you're working with and trying to keep them motivated. How do you combat all of that and, you know, try to tell them, you know, that's nothing, because they're usually new coming to you, or maybe have failed a bunch of times and now they need your help, you know? So how do you get them to push past all of that?
All of the challenges that, you know, things be, you know, coming at you. So it's like, you know, again, you need to surround yourself with amazing women that's going to have your back, you know, and pray for you behind your back, not just talking about you behind your back. You know, at the same time as well. And so there are going to be challenges. And I always say, if you don't have any challenges, then I'm just going to clap for you. If you haven't had anyone clap back at you for what you're doing, just, you know, just wait, because you know when you're doing what you're called to do, you're going to have a lot of people, you know, come after you, because I always say that's what the devil's job is to try to throw you off track. But you just gotta keep in mind to stay focused on what you are called to do, and don't worry about what they're saying about you. Because think about the time and energy you're taking, going back and forth, back and forth. You could have been doing something else more positive. You know, it's just like too much negative energy wasted on that. And it's like, you know what? What's the lesson? What is the lesson from this? It's like, okay, this happened. Now, what was the lesson that I learned from this? How can I help others move forward if they come in contact with some similar situation like that as well?
Yeah, knowing you didn't go through those, you know, trials for no reason, right?
Right.
So not only was it something to show you the next time that, hey, wait, got through it the last time, but also to teach someone else, like you said, you know, of, hey, this is how I got through it. So that your trials will come triumphs, but you have to work through them.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? It's like you're still working through it, but you know, it's like that's an ongoing process. You know, you're going through it, and it's like you're always learning, you're always growing, you're always evolving. Like every book that I've ever written, every interview I've ever done, it's like that next chapter. It's like you're elevating each time. Every single time you're elevating to the next level. Each year is something different, something better, something bigger, something more epic that you're supposed to be doing. And you just have to stay laser focused and don't worry about anyone trying to shake you off track for what you are supposed to be doing.
Yes, Lord, because baby, will they come shake? Because I don't know what it is. As soon as, you know, you decide you want to be something else, I guess those that don't have that ambition or still live in that fear, try to attach it onto you. So, you do need coaches, like she said, you need your team, surrounding network, but definitely the mentorship. And if you can't find it, naturally, like I said, coaching with Charlotte, like that's something you need, a business growth coach, someone that's going to not only motivate you, but show you actual steps that are proven and true and things that they can show you that they've done. I've seen a lot of the books that you have published going forward. Can you talk a little bit about that and maybe one of your favorites that we should be looking at?
Oh my goodness. That is so funny because it's like we're doing books like almost like every single
I was
day.
like,
Like
I was going through your website, like, okay.
yeah, and it's like some books I wrote years ago that I stuck because I write a lot. I love writing. It's so therapeutic. But of course, if you haven't checked out Becoming an Unstoppable Wealthy Woman, that's a series, and it's also I have the solo series where I share. Again, we all have so many stories in us that we can share to inspire other people, whether that's a man, whether that's a woman, whatever your target audience of who you're looking to serve. And then we have the collaboration of Becoming an Unstoppable Wealthy Woman. So I'm doing the solo because I think when you're writing books, you should have the solo and you should have the collaborative Becoming an Unstoppable Wealthy Woman as well. So you're collaborating. It's kind of like, okay, we're doing these podcast series. So then I would have you two come in and add your chapter to Becoming an Unstoppable Wealthy Woman. I'm just putting it out there.
Put it out there.
And and it's like, okay, ladies, we're gonna have this big event. You're gonna come in. We're all gonna speak. We're gonna share our stories. We're gonna impact lives. We're gonna make a huge difference, and we're all gonna win. That's just what it's all about. So doing I do one of those. I did the solo book, and then the collaborative Becoming an Unstoppable Wealthy Woman is actually coming out in December as well. And so that we will launch, of course, at one of our events as well, and trying to put all of the, again, media contacts and all of that together. I'm just hinting to you all.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, when is this? Where?
We're supposed to have it on December the 7th, but I will make sure I get back to you because I love what you both are doing, and it's just absolutely amazing. And I definitely want to collaborate further with the both of you for sure.
Thank you. Yes. Please let us know. And with that, that sounds super exciting. So I really need to know all that. And with that, one of the questions I wanted to ask about your entrepreneurs, what strategies would you say that are most helpful for, entrepreneurs that you're just bringing on and onboarding and helping them get used to like the media portions, going to events, things like that?
Yeah, so of course, if you're wanting to, again, the number one tool that has helped me be able to transition from corporate and to being a full-time entrepreneur it started with the book, and it's always ending with the book because it opens so many doors. You can create like a little 50-page book, and people can, you can write about something that you're expert in, or just sharing your story and tailoring it to like the amazing work that you ladies are doing. And when you do that, people right now, short books are performing like so well. And so people feel like they get to know you better. So with the book, it's going to help you to amplify your voice, your impact, your influence, and your income, because then you can take that book and create it into a course. Then you can have a workshop. Then you get, it's like just taking like
I hope you
key
guys are taking notes. Because
and then you can have your different inspirational key pieces where you're then having like your merch, your t-shirts, your mugs. You're creating this whole entire movement, and it's all because you decided to share, because even when you talk about publishing, you know writing a book just about Kindle publishing, how to launch your own Kindle publishing business, and earning royalties off creating that passive income stream, in essence. And then of course then when you start with the print books, that's a whole nother, I like to say, a whole nother stream. So it's like before you know it, you have like over 50 income streams coming in. And you're like, say for instance,
your story.
if you are a hairstylist and you know that you don't have a nail tech in your salon, but you know that people love to get their nails done. Most women, even if it's just a manicure or a pedicure, why don't this hairstylist then go over to this nail salon and say, you know what, let's create this referral partnerships. And that, to me is genius, because now it's like you have additional income streams coming in from the nail salon, and then the nail salon has income streams coming in from the hair salon. And so you're creating these different strategies synergistically, and it's creating a win-win for everybody.
We had a question. Did you want to read them, B? Mine's breaking up.
It says, does this process also